Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. Pretty guys, our week 5 team builder and pregame press conference for the Minnesota Vikings taking on the South Texas Sableyes and coach InVividColor. Vivid is a good friend of mine. He's actually a pretty good battler as well. He's got an interesting team that we're going to break down in this video, talk about what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. So as always, if you guys enjoy the team builders, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and definitely get those notifications turned on. Of course, the battle will be up tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that. We do still have just a few Minnesota Vikings limited edition shirts available. I think there's less than 30 of them. So if you want to snag one, now's the chance. Vikings.com to go pick up this limited edition gold Vikings design. Otherwise, I want to let you guys know that I did make a free agent transaction this week for week 5. I did drop Luxray from the team. Luxray was a very cool member of the team that did provide Intimidate support and had some pretty good showings. But I picked up Rotom Frost, which is the fridge variant of Rotom. The reason why I did this is I'm a big believer of Blizzard spam. I think it's a really good strategy, and I wanted Rotom on the team since the draft. But I went with Luxray because I was afraid of kind of doubling down on some of my weaknesses. My fighting weakness, my rot weakness, things like that, my fire weakness. But I decided to say, you know what? Forget about it. I want Rotom Frost, and I think Rotom has a really good matchup this week, so I decided to make that change to the team. Let's talk about Vivid's team and what I think he's going to bring. So he's got a G-Max Duraludon, which obviously doesn't have Wormwind. It has G-Max PP depletion, so he kind of drops the PP of our Pokemon moves. So it might be worthwhile for me to go through and use some PP ups on some of these mons real quick. But otherwise, really powerful Steel-type Pokemon that can ignore my follow me's from Togekiss, so I have to be very careful there. It hits very, very hard, but its special defense is super low, and oftentimes, like if it runs an Assault Vest, it loses a lot of the offensive power that it wants to have. Amoonguss, one of the premier redirectors with Rage Powder, obviously has Spore to put things to sleep, and then otherwise can use things like Clear Smog, just be a little bit annoying. Indeedee Male is a Psychic Pokemon that can set up Psychic Terrain with Psychic Surge. Very strong with Expanding Force, base speed at 95, very powerful, especially paired with Reuniclus, which is a very powerful Trick Room setter. Gets Magic Guard, Life Orb, can run Overcoat as well. Just deal a lot of damage, does get Focus Blast, Thunder, things of that nature. Vivid also has a Rain Core with Pelipper, which is often seen with a Focus Sash. I can see it being Choice Scarf in this match with Tailwind, and then obviously setting up the rain manually, or automatically rather. Seismitoad is his Rain Sweeper though, which is a water or ground type Pokemon. Has that big grass weakness, can be physical or special. So I think if he brings Seismitoad, we have to kind of determine what set it is, right? Like what's that Seismitoad doing? Is it physical, is it special? But the thing about Seismitoad is it's not super strong, right? It really needs the rain, and it needs the Dynamax to do any damage, and it needs to start using Max Knuckles or Max Oozes to boost its stats. If it gets hit with a grass move, it kind of gets blown back pretty quickly there. The next Pokemon is going to be Accelgor. Accelgor is very interesting in this match in the sense that it can use Struggle Bug to lower my special attack. It can use Water Shuriken to power up his other Pokemon, which is Palossand. We'll talk about in a second. Otherwise, just a bit of an annoyance, right? It can also set up Rain Dance to try to stop me from setting Aurora Veil or something like that. Palossand, he can pair with Accelgor. For those who don't know, Palossand's ability, Water Compaction, allows it to boost its defense significantly when hit with a water type move. So oftentimes Accelgor and Palossand will be paired together. The Palossand Dynamaxes, the Accelgor Water Shurikens it, hits it, boosts its defense up to max, and then it gives it a weakness policy boost, and then it just starts hitting max Quakes to boost its special defense. So Palossand, really, really big threat. I do have Togekiss though, which is a really good Palossand response, because not only can I take the max Quakes because I'm immune, but I can redirect those Water Shurikens and keep that Accelgor from hitting the Palossand. So it's a good strategy, but very difficult for him to implement, I think, in this match. Pangoro is a dark and fighting type Pokemon that's actually kind of scary because of how strong it is. It can deal a lot of damage to my team with offensive dark and fighting type moves. But again, very, very much so countered by Togekiss. He can run Gunk Shot, or he can run something like Iron Head, but Togekiss still does counter it pretty well. Emolga is an electric and flying type Pokemon that I don't really anticipate. It has an electric immunity, but it has a lot of weaknesses, obviously, and it doesn't really deal a lot of damage outside of just kind of paralyzing things. And then Galarian Rapidash can get Trick Room. It's base 105 speed, relatively offensive Fairy and Psychic type Pokemon on the physical side of things. So in terms of what I'm expecting him to bring, I definitely see Duraludon coming 1,000,000%. From there, I think we're going to see he brings a couple different options, right? I think Amoonguss could come. I think he could bring the Indeedee Reuniclus as a core. I think he could bring the Pelipper Seismitoad as a core. I think he could bring the Accelgor Palossand as a core. I think Pangoro could come. I do not see Emolga coming. I do not see Rapidash coming. I do think the rest of the team there makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about what I'm bringing. why I'm bringing it, and how we're going to approach this battle. So when trying to think about this team, I decided to, well, we got a couple things, right? I could obviously bring Rhyperior, but he has the rain option there. He's also got a Moongus, kind of annoying. He's got the Palossand, which can kind of beat me pretty well, especially if Water Shuriken boost it up. I've got Serena, which is pretty solid against a handful of things like Seismitoad, but definitely struggles against Pelipper. Doesn't really do a ton to Duraludon. Amoonguss kind of wrecks it, right? Blastoise was going to be on the team. I decided to take it off and actually change that up. Very good Pokemon though with Water Spout, but he does have Rain himself. Kind of good. It could have been good, but again, I decided to kind of go against it. Comet, the Hitmonchan, I don't even think has been brought yet, so that's that. And then Bronzong is my Trick Room option, but I decided to leave that off the team as well because I think my opponent has a better Trick Room mode, and my way to stop Trick Room is kind of more tech-oriented as opposed to trying to win with Trick Room myself. So the team I am going to be bringing is going to be Togekiss here. Togekiss is going to be kicking things off with the Super Luck ability. It's also got the Babiri Berry, which is going to reduce the power of those Steel-type moves, specifically from Duraludon, right? It allows me to live a max Steel Spike, take that hit pretty well. Dazzling Gleam is really nice against Pangoro and just kind of spreading damage across the team. Yawn is super clutch as well, being able to put things to sleep and really kind of spread that status around the team, force some switches, and really kind of nail down that Dynamax. Like in a turn 1 scenario versus Duraludon, I can just Yawn it, and even though he's going to do like 70% to me, I'm still going to live the hit, and I can try to put him to sleep. A main core of our strategy is going to be our Alolan Ninetales. We've got Freeze Dry, Protect, Blizzard, and Icy Wind. Triple ice moves. Very good. Freeze Dry is so good in this match. It obviously can one-shot Pelipper. It one-shots a lot of Seismitoads. It hits super effectively against a lot of things. Blizzard spam is amazing. We're going to talk about that here in a second, but I could just click Blizzard over and over again. Icy Wind for speed control, especially if he has something like Choice Scarf, Indeedee, or I'm sorry, yeah, Choice Scarf, Indeedee, or like a Accelgor, and I want to slow them down. We've got those options there. I'm really excited about this Drapion set. This is a max speed, max HP, bulky Drapion. It's got the Citrus Berry to help it heal a little bit up. It's got Snarl, Protect, Knock Off, Taunt. You don't expect to see that out of a Drapion, but Snarl is super good. One thing I noticed about Vivid's team is it's so especially offensive. Duraludon, Amoonguss, Indeedee, Pelipper, Reuniclus, it's kind of Seismitoad, Accelgor, Palossand. Those are all special attackers. Pangoro is not, Emolga is sort of, and Rapidash is a physical attacker, but again, I'm not anticipating Rapidash. The whole team is special. So like Snarl is so good. So in a situation where my opponent goes Indeedee Reuniclus and tries to Trick Room against me, I just click Snarl. I'm just gonna slow them down with Snarls, make him waste his turns. Kind of like what Wolf did to me in week 1 of the WBE. He really just kind of tech status me and kind of weakened my Pokemon down, wasted out my Dynamax, and then came in and was able to beat me. Next Pokemon we're bringing is Java here, my Rotom Frost, making its debut to the team. Really, really cool Pokemon here. I actually competed with this and top cut with this Rotom in Collinsville when it was a Rotom Mo form. It's got Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, Protect, and Blizzard with the Life Orb. My dedicated lead in this match, unless I see something crazy, is Ninetales Rotom. Those two come out and they just click Blizzard. I don't even have the Dynamax, but I have the Dynamax option. If he does not bring Rain against me, then I am free to just spam Blizzard all day, and it is so strong. Legitimately, Blizzard from Ninetales plus Rotom actually knocks out non-Assault Vest Duraludon, which is incredible. It's so strong. Against the Palossand lead, I can just let him Water Shuriken and I can just double Blizzard. I mean, there's so many cool things we can do with double Blizzard spam in this one. And let's not forget, Dark Pulse really good. It's there for Indeedee, Reuniclus. I can hit those things, drop their special defense, which allows some of the other Pokemon to deal some damage. It's just a really good scenario. I think that this thing is super strong. Thunderbolt's there as well for things like the Pelipper if I wanted to. But otherwise, we can just hit so hard with this thing. We are max speed, so we outspeed Duraludon. And this was very much so added to the team as a way to deal with Vivid. Like, I definitely put this on the team specifically for this match. But I also think Rotom is just super good. Like, for those who don't know, Ice Beam and Thunderbolt, or Blizzard and Thunderbolt in this scenario, is an incredible combination together. So, love that. I'm actually bringing Whiteout this time. This is a specially defensive Sandslash, believe it or not, with Assault Vest. Again, his team is so specially offensive, so why not take advantage of that? Sandslash actually has a decent matchup here in the sense that it can take some of those special hits. It actually can live, if I'm Dynamax, I can actually live a Max Knuckle from a Life Orb Magic Guard Reuniclus, which is crazy to think about. Like, we can actually live that hit. We've got Drill Run, Steel Roller, X Scissor, and Triple Axle. Steel Roller can actually crush the terrain that Indeedee sets up, which is super cool. Otherwise, it's just a really powerful Max Steel Spike. Drill Run gives me a special defense boost when it's a Max Quake in a Duraludon, chunks him for a good amount of damage. X Scissor becomes Max Flutterby, which drops their special attack. Again, all these special attackers. Triple Axle allows it to function on its own, to set up its own hail, and allow it to double its speed. I have a lot of bulk investment on this thing, and actually primarily specially defensive, because I don't really need the max attack, but I don't really need the speed, right? Like, I'm gonna outspeed the core of the stuff. his Seismitoad is going to outspeed me. His Accelgor is going to outspeed me most of the time. I'm not really worried about that, right? Because this thing is going to be utilized under hail anyway. So I think that's going to be really good. And then last but not least is going to be Monaloa, our Turtonator. It's got Shell Armor with Weakness Policy, Protect, Heat Wave, Solar Beam, Draco Meteor. I will say, like, I'm filming this team builder and I'm battling in about 2 hours. And there is the chance that I take Turtonator off in exchange for like a Blastoise. That's the one thing I'm debating on right now, because when I look at his team, like, there's a few things that kind of scare me. The things that scare me the most are like Seismitoad at this point, because I have a lot of weaknesses. I mean, I have ways to deal with Seismitoad too, so I'm kind of torn, but I have 3 core weaknesses to ground in this matchup right now, and also Sandy Gas a little bit, right? And Turtonator is kind of like my counter Trick Room way, but it's not that good of a counter Trick Room option, so I'm a little torn on how I want to handle that. Like, do I want to bring Blastoise instead of Turtonator? I might make that change for the last minute. I'm going to run a lot of calcs right now and kind of make that final decision, but Turtonator is meant to be Weakness Policy Dynamax candidate. Could be really strong. Kind of on the fence about it, like I said. I mean, if I was going to bring anything else, I think it's the Blastoise. Makes sense. Again, just for the sense that Blastoise can kind of deal in rain. It's very scary. I would probably bring more of a support type Blastoise, I think, as opposed to a more like offensive one. I don't really know. Like, it's hit or miss. Like, I think I deal with a Moongus incredibly well, so I'm not really concerned about a Moongus. And I'm not really, like, Duraludon can be okay against me. Like, Blastoise is really good here, so I'm a little torn. Like I said, I did have Blastoise. I took it off. I'm going to make that decision for the battle, so things may change before the battle, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So we're going to throw down against Vivid. I hope you guys are excited for the battle. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the battle for the Minnesota Vikavolt. Don't forget, Vikavolt.com. Pick up one of those limited edition t-shirts, and I'll see you guys in the battle tomorrow. Peace. If you enjoyed this video for me, I'm sure you're gonna love this video right here. However, YouTube thinks that you're gonna like this video. So check out one of my 2 videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.